Something strange is happening in the DC world again.
So, one thing I've been really curious about is you've referenced things like Peacemaker Season 2 and Lanterns setting up different threads and arcs. How far do these arcs go? Like, do they culminate in Man of Tomorrow, or can we expect them to go further than that?
Yes, they definitely go significantly further than Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
So now, whether or not that'll be me that's able to fulfill that promise depends on a lot of things in life. But yeah.
Zack Snyder didn't post a tweet, didn't give an interview, he just dropped one picture on Instagram, and it was enough to shake entire DCU. Fans are calling it the silent humiliation, the moment Snyder reminded the world what real DC cinema looked like. And the irony? James Gunn didn't even have to say a word. Let's be honest, there's a reason Zack Snyder's name still trends, even when he hasn't touched a DC project in years. When you watch Man of Steel, you didn't just see Superman, you felt what it means to be a god walking among men. When you watch Batman vs. Superman, you didn't just see two heroes fighting, you saw philosophy, guilt, morality, and symbolism all colliding in a cinematic war zone. And when the warehouse scene played that one Batman fight, it redefined what Batman could be in live action. Just raw, ruthless, spine-cracking justice. Now compare that to what we've seen in Gunn's vision so far. A Superman who looks more like a bright poster child than a conflicted savior. A DC universe that feels more like a set of quirky side characters than gods and monsters. It's not that Gunn is bad, it's just that Snyder set the bar too high. And here's the truth. Fans wanted to give Gunn a chance. They thought maybe a reboot would finally fix the chaos. But now, after months of leaks, confusing casting, and studio reshuffles, most people feel disconnected. Because the problem isn't the actors, it's the tone. James Gunn wants to make DC colorful and humorous, but DC was never meant to be Marvel 2.0. DC was about gods learning how to be human, not humans pretending to be superheroes. And it's painfully clear that Gunn doesn't understand that essence. His Superman might be kind, but he's not inspiring. His Batman might exist on paper, but he doesn't haunt you. Even hardcore fans who defended Gunn at the start are beginning to realize the new DCU feels safe, but soulless. And here's where things get wild. Multiple reports suggest Warner Bros. Discovery, the studio behind DC, is UP for a sale. If that happens, it could change everything. If Netflix or Skydance buys Warner Bros. And decides to revive the one version of DC that actually made people feel something. The Snyderverse. Because here's the thing, Snyder's universe wasn't perfect. It was divisive, it was heavy, but it was real. People argued about it because they cared. Nobody debates Peacemaker. Nobody replays the Suicide Squad 2021. But people still argue about Batman vs. Superman in 2025. That's called impact. And Snyder's latest Instagram post wasn't just nostalgia. It was a message. A reminder of what we had and what was taken away. Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, the trinity that defined an era, all erased by a creative reset that no one really asked for. Now, even the people who once said Snyder's DC is too dark are realizing maybe that darkness was what made it beautiful. Because real heroes aren't born out of jokes and bright skies, they're forged in pain, loss, and redemption. And that's exactly what Snyder understood better than anyone. So what happens if the Warner sale goes through? If Netflix or another studio steps in, the door to the Snyderverse reopens instantly. Snyder's unfinished roadmap. Man of Steel 2, Justice League 2, and a standalone Batman vs. Deathstroke could finally happen. Those aren't just potential hits. They're billion-dollar opportunities sitting untouched. Because deep down, everyone knows. Superhero fatigue isn't real. Bad writing fatigue is. Give fans a reason to care again, and they'll show up just like they did for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Remember that? A fan movement so powerful that it forced a billion-dollar studio to admit it was wrong. That's not fandom. That's faith. So maybe this post isn't random. Maybe Zack Snyder's silence is his loudest statement yet. He doesn't need to fight Gunn online. He doesn't need to trash talk or trend hashtags. All he needs to do is remind people what true storytelling looks like. Because DC was never just about heroes. It was about belief. And if the Snyderverse does return, it won't just be a movie comeback. It'll be a redemption arc for the entire DC fandom. Until then, one thing is certain. Zack Snyder hasn't moved on. He's just waiting for his cue.